Hey guys, Jeff here, bringing you an Age of Sigmar battle report. So, I got Empire vs Skaven here, and I'll quickly go over the armies. So, it's just after deployment. We've got 6 gutter runners to come on in the first movement phase. We've got 2 rat ogres, 1 unit of 10 giant rats, a grey seer, and then another unit of 10 giant rats. For the Empire, we've got 8 swordsmen, a battle wizard, then we've got 10 archers, Marcus Wolfheart. Those archers are Wolfheart's huntsmen, so they get +1 to all to hit rolls, and 15 free company. And then for terrain, there isn't a whole lot of it, but I've got a couple little bits on here. So we've got 2 forest sections. One is inspiring, so this one here is inspiring, so any units within 3 inches get +1 to their bravery. And that one is arcane, which means that any wizard within 3 inches gets +1 to casting or whatever it's called, dispelling, unbinding spells. So yeah, this is what the board looks like at deployment, and I'll be back after turn 1. Okay, we're back after Empire turn 1. So the wizard tried to cast Soul Steal on those giant rats there, but failed. Then in movement, we had the free company rolled a 4, I think it was, on the run, so they moved up a fair bit. Empire Archers and Marcus Wolfheart both moved into range. The Archers shot at the giant rats. They scored 8 hits but no wounds. And Marcus Wolfheart shot at the Grey Seer and he did maximum damage. He did 3 wounds on him. So yeah, that's it for turn 1 Empire, so I'll be back with Skaven turn 1. Okay, so this is how it looks after Skaven turn 1. So the Grey Seer cast Vermintide on the archers that used to be there. He only did 1 wound with it, but that seemed to be enough. Then in movement, these giant rats moved up there. They were hoping to get a charge later on, but they failed that. The rat ogres came around this side of the forest. These giant rats moved up, and then they managed to get a charge on the archers later on. And the gutter runners popped on just here. The gutter runners shot at the archers first, doing 2 wounds, and then they charged in at the wizard. Then in combat, the wizard and the gutter runners, nothing happened, but neither side wounded. And with the giant rats and the archers, the giant rats rolled really lucky, and they managed to do another 3 wounds. And then in Battle Shock, the archers rolled 6, which is why that's still there. And yeah, they only had 4 models left, and they exploded. This is how the ball looks after Skaven turn 1, and I'll see you after Empire turn 2. So here we are at the end of Empire turn 2. In the magic phase, the wizard tried to cast his Soul Steal on the gutter runners, but failed. Then no one moved. Then in shooting, Marcus Wolfheart shot at the Grey Seer again, but didn't do any wounds. Then the swordsman charged the gutter runners to help out the wizard here. Marcus Wolfheart charged these giant rats, and the militia charged the giant rats that are up there. In this combat, the swordsman and the gutter runners did nothing to each other, and then the wizard did 1 wound to the gutter runners. Over here, the giant rats couldn't hurt Marcus Wolfheart, but he also managed to not kill any of them. And the militia did a really good job over here. They killed 3 giant rats, and then in the battle shock phase, the giant rats rolled really poorly, and they lost a further 4 models. And that's how it's looking at the end of, or at the start of Skaven turn 2. So I'll be back after that. Righto, this is how the board looks after Skaven turn 2. And it's not looking too great for the Empire at the moment. In the magic phase, the Grey Seer cast Vermintide on those militia and did 4 wounds. Then in movement, the rat ogres moved up a bit, and then they charged because there was no shooting. They got into combat with the swordsman. In the combat, the swordsman ended up losing 4 units after combat with rat ogres and the gutter runners. The wizard took 1 wound. The gutter runners took 3 wounds as well, because the wizard did a wound and the swordsman did 2 wounds. The Rados had nothing happen to them. And then both the swordsmen and the gutter runners popped in the battle shock phase. Over here, it looks like Marcus Wolfhart did more than he actually did. He took a wound, and... was that this time he took a wound, or was that last time he took a wound? I can't remember. But he dealt 1 wound to the giant rats, and then in battle shock, the giant rats rolled a 6, and they lost further... It was a 6? Yeah, they rolled a 6, so it ended up being 7, so they lost a further 4 models from that. This combat, the giant rats did 1 wound, I believe, and then the militia killed them, and then in the battle shock they lost 1 wound as well. So it's going in this Empire turn 3. Things aren't looking too good for them, but I'll see you after that. So this is after Empire turn 3, really quick turn. The wizard cast Soul Steal on these 2, and he did 1 wound to each of them. The combat over here, then he ran away, because he wasn't actually in combat with them. Then over here in the combat, Wolfhart did 2 wounds, and then Battle Shock took a 3rd wound off the, what's the names? The giant rats. And the Empire Militia moved up behind the forest and then charged in the charge phase, and that combat, nothing happened. So we're going to Skaven turn 3 and see what happens. So this is what the board looks like after Skaven turn 3. Turn 3? Yeah. The Red Ogres charged the wizard and killed him. Over here in this combat, Wolfhart finished up the giant rats. The wizard cast his spell Vermintide again on the militia and got it off, but didn't do any wounds. And then in the combat, nothing happened between them. So it's now on to Empire turn 4. So this is the end of Empire turn 4. The militia killed the Grey Seer. Wolfhart shot the ogres first, doing 3 wounds. Then charged in and did a further wound, and then took 2 wounds himself. So yeah, probably 1 more turn left, I'd say, and it's a Skaven one. That's the end of the Skaven turn. They managed to get Marcus Wolfhart down to 1 wound, but then he rolled 3 wounds against them, and they failed 2 of their saves. So yeah, it was a win for the Empire. This is my first battle report, guys. I plan to do a few more. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And as always, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye for now.